They broke my toy and hid my mom. The child cried. Then the bikers rode toward the factory. The dusty road was silent, until the roar of engines echoed in the distance. A small boy, no older than 6, stood trembling outside a rundown factory, clutching a broken toy car and sobbing. His mother lay nearby, her face bruised, her clothes torn, victims of the cruel factory foreman and his men. When the bikers stopped, their leader, a bearded man with eyes full of fire, knelt beside the boy. "Who did this to you, kid?" he asked, voice calm but deadly. The boy pointed at the factory gates. The bikers exchanged a look, one that needed no words. Moments later, engines thundered back to life. Justice wasn't written on paper that day. It rode onto wheels, straight toward the men who thought no one would stand up for the weak. The morning had started like any other for little Samir. His mother, Amina, worked long hours in the old textile factory at the edge of town. She was paid little, treated worse, but she never complained. Her only dream was to save enough for her son's school uniform that day. Samir had followed her to the factory gates with his favorite toy car, a chipped red one his late father had carved for him. "Wait for me, Beta," Amina had said, kissing his forehead. "I'll be out before sunset." But fate had other plans. Inside the factory, the foreman, Malik, was shouting again. He accused Amina of slowing down production when she tried to help another woman who had fainted from exhaustion. When she protested, Malik's rage turned violent. "You think you can talk back to me?" he snarled, pushing her hard. She fell, hitting her head against the cold concrete floor. Outside, Samir heard the commotion. He ran in, crying, "Emmy." But before he could reach her, one of the factory guards kicked away his toy car and slapped him. "Get lost, brat." The boy's wails echoed across the yard. A few workers turned their faces away, too afraid to speak, too used to the cruelty. But one passerby heard everything, a man on a bike, leather jacket dusted with sand. He turned his head slowly toward the factory and saw the boy crying over his unconscious mother. "Who did this?" the biker asked softly, and when Samir pointed toward the factory doors, the man clenched his fists. He radioed 3 words to his crew: "Brothers, gear up." The engines roared like thunder. 5 bikes appeared at the edge of the road, their riders wearing leather vests marked Iron Hearts MC. The townsfolk peeked from their windows, whispering they knew these men. Once rough riders, now protectors of the helpless. The factory guard stepped out, laughing nervously. "What do you want?" one barked. The leader dismounted, towering over them. "We came for an apology," he said calmly, "and for a broken toy." The men laughed. "You think you scare us?" Malik sneered, stepping forward. "This is my property." "Not anymore," the biker replied. He turned to Samir. "Where's your toy, little man?" Samir pointed at the broken pieces near the gate. The biker picked them up gently, his jaw tightening. "A man who breaks a child's toy and hits a woman," he said, staring at Malik, "is no man at all." Then, without another word, the bikers walked in. The sound of boots on concrete echoed through the factory halls. Workers paused their machines, watching in silence as the bikers confronted the foreman. No punches were thrown at first, only fear. The leader placed the broken toy on Malik's desk. "Fix it," he said. Malik scoffed. "It's just a toy." The biker leaned closer. "It's his father's memory." Malik's smirk faded. Then, with one sharp motion, the biker slammed his fist onto the desk, cracking the wood. "You'll fix it. And you'll pay her wages for every bruise you gave." The workers gasped. Malik's face went pale. The bikers didn't come to fight, they came to make wrongs right. And when they left, every worker in that factory knew something had changed. Days later, the factory was quieter. Malik had been removed by the factory's owner after word spread of his cruelty. Amina returned home, still bruised but smiling. She couldn't believe the bikers had paid her hospital bills and even repaired her tiny house roof that had been leaking for months. Samir, meanwhile, sat outside with his toy car, freshly painted red again, its wheels spinning freely. The biker leader had personally handed it to him. "Now it's stronger," he said with a wink. "Will you come back?" Samir asked. The man smiled. "Whenever someone needs us, we ride." That evening, as the sun set, the sound of engines faded into the distance. But the town remembered. For once, justice didn't come from uniforms or badges. It came from men who had once lost their way but found purpose in defending the innocent. Amina hugged her son tightly. "See, Beta?" she whispered. "There are still good hearts in this world, even if they wear leather." Samir grinned, holding up his toy car. "I'll be brave like them one day," and somewhere on the long road beyond the hills, the bikers rode on, ready for the next cry for help. If this story touched your heart, share it to remind others kindness and courage still exist in this world. Follow for more emotional, justice-filled stories that prove heroes don't always wear capes. Sometimes they ride bikes.